having a great day. My mom and I have got some things that we've got to do today. And so we're out. And while I was out, one of our subscribers here, a very dear friend of this channel, reached out to me and said, guilty on all 19 charges. And I'm like, whoa, is this for Boone or is this for Leilani? And I don't think the Boone trial's quite ended yet. So I'm like, I popped on there and, I was looking for Twitter. I didn't see anything on Twitter. And so I went to Law and Crime and watched the last 5 or 10 minutes of the Law and Crime. And the verdict came back and they found her guilty everything. And I just want to tell all the people, including the ones that I'm not as close to as I once was, when we did the Leilani Simon case, this was just reporting that ended up turning into advocation and activism, because we learned very early on that this woman abused her child and targeted her child for abuse. This wasn't a normal run-of-the-mill, mom on drugs, child wandered off and got injured somehow. This was a woman targeted her child, abused him from the time he was born to the date of death. She lied about everything. She tried to blame somebody else, such as Danny, her ex, that absolutely loved those kids, that was home with those kids while she was out partying and doing drugs and sleeping with drug dealers and everything else. Her life came unglued and started spinning out of control. Hi guys, I can't really read the chat, nor am I going to try. I would turn the camera, but I don't want to get my mom on camera, so we're just going to have some conversations about this, so just bear with me. I see all you guys here. If you guys are doing, I see something. It looks like GG for life. Thank you. I don't know what you wrote. Hopefully everybody else can see it in chat. I'm not going to be pinning anything, of course, because I'm driving, and again, I'm not going to be looking at the phone or chat because of where we're going. This case, Baby Q, was very emotional for me. Very emotional. Many of you guys know, and maybe some of you guys don't because you've only been with me since Sebastian Rogers, but I can't have kids. I've got 2 stepdaughters and 5 grandchildren, unless another one had a grandchild since me and my husband's divorce. I know his daughter that lived in our house can't, so I'm not worried about her, but his other daughter that lived in a different state, was possible. Long story short, it was very emotional for me because I think children are angels. I think they are the most innocent of innocent. A baby can't do anything wrong. They're just learning. They don't know how to communicate. So you get to watch them explore. You get to watch them form words. You get to, watch their little brains develop before your eyes. And then you have these horrible parents that are on really nasty stuff and doing nasty stuff, having these kids and not valuing them like we value our children. Baby Quinton, from everything I learned about this little boy, he was just so chill. He was so happy. Even with all of his abuse, he always tried to find a reason to smile. He couldn't really formulate his words very well, but he knew that his mom was not good for him. He knew he didn't like his mom hurting him the way she was being hurt. He really did like Danny, and Danny liked him. He would run up to him and give him big old hugs, and we just heard a lot. And we knew very early on, within a few hours of our feet hitting the ground there in Chatham County, that this mother did not have the same appreciation for this young boy that everybody in the community had. We learned, and we even said on our live, this woman did not love her son. We were crucified by our reporting because law enforcement wanted to lie about information related to this case. They told us she was the suspect, but they really tried to hide and let people believe that this was just an accident when it was not. They never talked about the abuse that she rendered to this young boy, this toddler, this less than 2-year-old little guy that just loved life, just had 2 short years on this world and was subjected to some of the worst abuse, worst drug use that you could possibly imagine. He experienced it. All these children were in a bedroom, one big bedroom with mommy and daddy. We all know that that is not a good thing, that you have to be very, very careful of what children see when you are living in those close quarters. And I doubt that either one of them paid attention to that, but that was not on, that wasn't part of the verdict, it wasn't part of the case, but you have to think that those children saw things that they probably should not have seen inside that home. I cried for baby Q. I cried very hard after we put up a memorial for him and saw all the beautiful strangers contribute to that memorial before it was stolen by the rotten grandparents. I think Billy Joe needs to be right beside her daughter, because without her help, this wouldn't have been possible. What do I mean by that? The state was about to come in and take baby Q, his brother Zane, and his little sister Sky away from Leilani Simon. And Billy Joe, in an act to help her daughter, even though she was abusing these children and doing things that they shouldn't have been doing, it was okay for Billy Joe. Billy Joe went ahead and decided to get custody of all 3 of these children and leave them with the same mother that they were taking away from, citing in her own words that her daughter has been abusive to these children and will not stop utilizing drugs in their presence. Those were the reasons why they were taken away and given to Billy Joe. What Billy Joe failed to tell the courts is that she's not home for months on end. Somebody else would be taking care of these kids, most likely their mother that she's taking them away from. And that's exactly what happened, because Billy Joe didn't believe her daughter needed help, didn't believe her daughter was really a threat to these kids, even though she watched everything that went on with those kids while she was at home. She saw it with her own eyes. It wasn't just the neighbors. They were there. Grandma and Grandpa, her new husband, also had to go fetch the kids out of somebody else's yard after they ran away from home for a half an hour. Nobody even knew these kids were gone. This is when the grandparents were still in the house. There is so much related to this story where all of these parents, all of these people should be in jail. A child died because of all of their negligence and neglect. And it's very upsetting that only one person is going to serve for the crimes against this young boy. And I'm very happy. I almost want to cry myself because of everything that this channel has gone through advocating for that boy, and for us to finally be vindicated through a court record. Everything we said on this channel was true, accurate, and correct, and we continue to do that for our audience. And right now, because I choose to give my audience the true, accurate, and correct information, we have a law enforcement body trying to silence me when we do such great work. It might not be the way they like it done, but if they don't get to dictate to me, and they're trying to. So I believe that our higher courts are going to be able to help me. I pray to God they're going to be able to help me. It was very, it almost made me angry because I saw Leilani Simon finally cry for the first time. What pissed me off is she was crying for herself and not the destruction she did in her own son's life. She still doesn't think what she did was wrong. She murdered her son and threw him away like garbage because that's what she perceived her son to be. And we tried to express that to the world. I went out there and I pushed that lady's buttons just to see if she even gave a shit. She was emotionless whenever I was face to face with her then, and she was emotionless when she came face to face with the facts and the juries now. And the only time she shed a tear, real tears, where her lip was quivering, and you could see that was real emotion, was for herself. I hope for eternity she burns in hell. I hope for eternity Quinton meets her in her brain every night when she lays down and haunts the hell out of her. We know he still exists out there because we saw his ghost in one of my lives when we were out there, no joke. You should check it out yourself if you don't believe me. Little boy running right behind me, and there was no little boy running behind me. It was, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. I do believe that was the ghost of Quinton. The height, the size, everything matches Quinton. And you know what? He was still running away from home, even as a ghost. I just pray that his brother and sister get a new lease on life. I pray to God that they are able to break the cycle in their own family. I pray to God that this trauma does not follow them the rest of their life and they find a way to overcome it. That's truly where my heart is right now, making sure that Quinton's brother and sister have an opportunity at life, the opportunity he did not get to have. We use the Constitution to raise our voice and to advocate for causes. We use the Constitution in our job as investigative reporter and trying to find out the truth behind these cases. But I've got to tell you, this is one case that we were condemned on that I am the most proud of. And I've held my head up high ever since the beginning of this case, through all the condemnation, because I knew I was on the right side of things. And for once, we finally made it to the finish line and got to see all the information. And now we can fact check Bullhorn Betty. Was I lying or was I telling the truth? Right now, I'm going to be facing criminal charges for telling the truth. It just doesn't seem right in America. It really doesn't. It doesn't seem right in America. I have a right to tell the truth on my platforms. If we were hindered like this in Chatham County, we would have all went to jail. And you know what? I'd have bonded out and went right back out there in the streets just like I did in Sumner County, because we have a right to be there. We have a right to raise our voice for causes that we deem fit. And there's nothing more fitting than law enforcement failing to lock a woman up that did such harm to a baby. A baby. And we all have a right to be angry and upset about that. And I don't give a rat's ass what any law enforcement body or judge tells us we cannot feel. We feel that, and we're allowed to feel that, and we're allowed to be angry over it, and we are allowed right now to be happy that justice is being served. That's what we have a right to be happy about today. Yesterday was very sad as we learned about a little boy missing, a little boy found in a landfill. And we have a right now to be happy and joyous that the person that put him there and did that to him will forever have to be reminded of her actions. She'll never be able to sleep again. She'll never be able to have alcohol again. She'll never be able to smoke or drugs again. She'll never be able to have sex again. She'll never be able to feel beautiful again. I hope that lady rots in hell. And if she was going to the gas chamber, I'd want to be in the first row. I'd want to be in the first row. That lady is evil, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And you saw how manipulative she was. She didn't care about her son. She only cared about saving her own ass. Today was a great day, guys. Today was an amazing, great day. All right, guys, I've got things to do with Mom, so rock it out with your coffee beans out, and we'll see you guys very, very soon. Anything else? No? Okay. All right, that's it, guys. Talk to you later. Sayonara. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, be kind to one another. And if you are a POS, today's a great day to change your life. Come on this side, walk with us, and be a good person. Raise your voice for good causes, and do the right thing always. Peace out.